Hello everyone in YouTube land and everywhere else in the world. My name is Mistress Ink. My first name is Benet, and I want to talk about, maybe tell my story about why I left the Mormon cult and how I am today spiritually, and also talk about the process that I went through. Start with the background. I have been a Mormon, or was a Mormon, most of my life. I left the church this year in 2009, and I've never looked back. My family, my parents and my younger brother and I have been members, since, my brother and I were kids. My brother was baptized at 8. I was a year and a half older than that. We weren't really consistent being in and out of the church. We just kind of bounced, We'd go for a while, then we'd stop going, go for a while, then stop going. And what I think that was, the reason why for that was, number one, either laziness, or number two, if mom got offended by somebody in the ward that we attended, or branch. If mom got offended, we just kind of didn't go. And so I just kind of remember not going all that much. So in a way, it was kind of a good thing, because and I'm kind of glad for that, now. So I think that was just kind of a blessing in disguise. And I just remember growing up, just having there been a lot of red flags for me personally, doctrinally, with the church, with the Mormon cult. And for some reason, I chose to ignore it. I served a mission in the church in the mid-'80s. I got married in the temple to kind of an abusive jerk. I was married to him for 10 years, and I got divorced. And I don't have any kids, which is another blessing in disguise that I've come to realize now. Like I said, there was a lot of doctrinal things that I kind of didn't agree with, that I questioned. And I just kind of, one day, I guess the catalyst for me wanting to leave the Mormon cult was, this was about the time when the polygamists in Texas were getting arrested and all that. That was just kind of the big thing. And I was in a Mormon chat room, being a single Mormon, and I was just kind of hanging out chatting, and of course the subject of polygamy came up, and the whole thing about them in the news. And I just kind of stated publicly that, I really don't agree with polygamy, and I just said that I just don't think that it's right, and I'm just not comfortable with it. And I basically got verbally attacked, and they said, well, you shouldn't be selfish, and you need to, it's doctrine, and it's going to happen, and you have to get used to it, and don't be selfish, and stuff like that. And I just kind of went, no, I have a problem with that. And I just don't like the idea of being wife number 3,792, and excuse me for being selfish, or call me selfish, fine, but I want my husband to myself. I've always believed that it should be one man, one woman, and two people in a marriage, not just 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, 500,000. I just think that's not really valuing women. It's making them property. It's making them second-class citizens, and I don't agree with that. And I just kind of left the chat room, and I said, I'm just out of here. And so I left the chat room, and I just had to take a step back and really evaluate, what did I believe? What are my religious beliefs. And I just wasn't sure that Mormonism was the way for me personally. And I just took a step back and I just said, you know, I don't know. So for a year, I stopped going to church. You know, I didn't have anything to do with the church. I had to like go within myself and really, really think and study things out. You know, during that year I took off, I did not go to any anti-Mormon websites. I didn't go to any pro-Mormon websites. I just studied things out in my own mind and had to really think, and you know, and I did pray a little bit, and I just said, you know, I need to walk away. And that's what I did, is I just walked away. And I still had my visiting teachers and my home teachers come, and I just told them, I need to walk away. I just don't think it's true anymore. And when I made that decision, I decided to get rid of all my Mormon stuff. I had like videos, you know, like DVDs and books and music and all kinds of things. And I got rid of them. I had like jewelry, and I had, you know, CTR rings and a little Leahona that I would wear, and I got rid of it. I got rid of it all, and I gave it to my visiting teacher, and I said, you know, distribute this, get rid of it, I don't want it. I had garments, I wore garments, and as you can tell, I don't wear garments anymore, and I'm much more comfortable. And I just got rid of it. And that's when I started going to xmormon.org, which is a site. It's bulletin boards, and you can discuss different topics and all about ex-Mormonism. And some people do off-topic things, but that's which is fine too. And I really kind of started studying, and they had like links to things, and this is when I really started studying about what the Mormon Church really believed. It was after I decided to walk away is when I started really studying. The more and more I learned, I just was more and more glad that I decided to walk away. And part of the bulletin discussions, bulletin board discussions on xmormon.org was it talked about resigning. And I thought, you can do that? Wow. And there are sites which I'll post in my descriptions of where and how to resign your membership from the church, or I'll post another video describing that. And what I did is I wrote the letter. I resigned as of, let's see, what's the date of Dodge's letter? The date of Dodge's letter is July 14th, 2009. So, as of that day is my resignation, is when I've officially left the church. And I have never been happier in all my life. You know, I smile more, I laugh a lot more, I take a lot more joy in life now, and you know, I do pray, I do believe in a higher being. You know, a lot of ex-Mormons, they become atheists, which is fine with them. If that makes them happy, that's just fine. For me personally, I do believe in a higher being. I do believe in archangels and in spirit guides, and I do pray and meditate. I do have a spiritual side, believe it or not. A lot of people think that, you know, I hate God or whatever, but that's not true. That is so not true. I do very much, like I said, very much believe in a higher being, and I am opening myself up to love a lot more. This has been it's been an amazing journey.